Welcome to the next tutorial. In the previous tutorial, we went over the A, B, C, and D settings, and I showed you some practical ways that I use them in trading just to give you an idea of the value of these tools, being able to look at them visually and see the 4 different settings. What we're going to be doing in this tutorial is going over changing the lines, changing the colors, and saving them to the buttons if I decide to customize it, and how to return that back to the default settings. I have my A button selected right now, so I'm going to go for the A settings. I'm going to click my internal retracement and click the internal drawing tool, and you'll see that I've got my standard A settings for the internal retracement. On the line settings over here in this whole section, these are where I choose to change the shape of the lines or the type of line that I have. The top left corner is my default. This means that if that is blue, it's going to go with whatever the default or whatever I set it up as. The same is true with the colors. The default square is here to show you that I have no color selected. It says default. The top left corner is the button I click to put it on default. So if I choose black, the color turns black. My default default button is right here. I can click that to take it back to its default. In fact, let's do that. Let's turn this to black, and let's come over here and choose a thin line. Because I have these checked, these two settings for the line and the color will overwrite the defaults on my internal retracement as long as these are checked. So we'll go to the internal retracement, click the internal retracement drawing tool, and now I have thin black lines. If I want to go back to default on the line, which is the top left corner of the line section, click the internal retracement, go to the drawing tool. Now when I draw it, I have my thick lines, but they're still black because I've selected the black color. If I go back to default on the color and choose the dotted and dashed line, let's use a dotted dash line, sure. You'll see that highlights as blue. My color will be the default color of blue, but my line will change to what I've selected for the line. So I can use either or both of the line and the color to do whatever I would like. So you can see here, this is the default color. It's a dotted dash line because that's what I've selected. I can return that to its default. This is already set in default. When I click on my internal retracement and draw, now this is going right back to its default settings. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit, then we'll teach you how to set that if you want to change it to use on a consistent basis. Like let's say you wanted to come down here and check your D settings. You can go with different shaped lines and different colors for different meanings to make different distinguishes or for different measurements. You can do that. So let's just leave it on the A setting for right now. Let's go and say I wanted to change this into a I'll click on that, and let's say I wanted to make it purple. Click on the purple, it shows up in the box. I'll come over and click the internal retracement button, click the internal retracement drawing tool, and now I have a purple line that's dotted and dashed. To save that, what I would do is click on my internal retracement with a right click, go to Save Button Settings. Now I can turn this back to default on both the lines and the colors. Since I've saved those settings, I can click on the internal retracement, go to the internal retracement drawing tool as I draw. Now that's what I have set for its settings. Now this is only going to affect the A setting on this. My B setting is going to remain at whatever it is set at. In this case, it is still set at default. When I draw it, you'll see that I have the thin blue lines because that's what its default setting is. So it only affects the setting at which it is. If I go back to my A setting and I go to my internal retracement button and right click again, you'll see that I have a restore button settings. When I click on my restore button settings, it returns it to its default, and we will have the bold blue settings on there, which is what its default is. So that's how you navigate forward and navigate backwards through those settings and change them. I'll be doing a tutorial later for more advanced settings for adding and taking off numbers and really getting in and making numbers or the lines bold and fixing different properties to that. For now, this should take care of what you want to do. Go ahead, take a little time, play with the colors, play with the lines. In subsequent tutorials, I'm going to be going over the lines here, or the colors here, and showing you to actually add colors to the palette and then how to reset all that. So that's it for now. Go ahead, take some time, bring up your charts, bring up the toolbar, and get familiar with the settings for the colors and the lines, and we will see you in the next tutorial.